What up, you fluffy bastards? My name is Liquid Blitz, and today we're going to discuss everything we know so far, all the facts and information we've gleaned from the official Call of Duty World War II reveal. There's quite a lot of telling information available, but they were typically very loose on all the specific details, which is always annoying. But anyway, let's get right into it. As usual, I'll put all the information that I'm talking about on screen so it's easier to follow. By the way, sorry that the background gameplay that I'm using for this video is of Infinite Warfare. I don't really like that game, but it's the only Call of Duty that I've got installed, so there. First thing is first, it's officially called Call of Duty World War II. I thought that was just like a handle until they revealed the name, but it turns out that's the actual name, Call of Duty World War II. It's being released on November the 3rd, later this year. People who pre-order it will get access to a private beta, that it's not an open beta as far as I can tell. And annoyingly for me, since I'm on PC, PS4 players get early access to this private beta as well. So if you're on PS4, awesome for you. Now, before we get into sort of campaign, multiplayer, and co-op information, all the information we know about those, first let's list the 100% confirmed weapons that are going to be in the game. The first confirmed weapon is the Springfield M1903. It's a bolt-action rifle. If you put a scope on it, it's your standard sniper rifle. The M1903, FYI, a little bit of trivia, is the rifle used by Private Jackson in Saving Private Ryan, the sniper in that film. Next, we have the only confirmed SMG thus far for the game. I believe the full name is the M3 submachine gun, but it's more widely known as the Grease Gun, or simply the Greaser. It's a 45 caliber, fast-firing small SMG, so that should be fun. Thirdly, we have the much-loved and seriously widely used M1 Garand, and it's your standard semi-automatic rifle, and it was so commonly used in World War II, it's ridiculous. And it's been in every World War II game that I've ever played, at least. Fourthly, we have the only confirmed light machine gun as well, and this, I believe, was also very commonly used. The MG42, apparently it was a powerful ass weapon. And last but certainly not least of the ballistic weapons, we have my old favourite from back in the day, the STG-44, which is a standard, one of the first typical sort of assault rifles, and it stands for Sturmgewehr. And since I love me a good assault rifle, that's going to probably end up being one of my favourite weapons in the game. Also in the trailer, I did spot, I mean, they didn't talk about this in the reveal, but I did also spot there was one scene where a guy was using a flamethrower, so I'm assuming there's going to be some sort of flamethrower available as well. Anyway, let's move on to campaign and what we know of the story so far. So far, we know that it's set in between 1944 and 1945. You will play as 19-year-old Texan, what's his name? Private Red Daniels in the US Army. Apparently, the story is very much focused on the brotherhood between Red Daniels and his squad. Apparently, the story is going to include a lot of sort of iconic World War II moments, as it should, being a World War II game. We're going to be visiting all the levels will take us through all through Europe, really, through France, Belgium, right into Germany. Some confirmed locations for the actual battles in the game are, obviously, we start the game, I believe the very first scene are the beach landings at Normandy. We will also be visiting the battle at Hurtgen Forest, which was apparently the longest single battle in World War II, and the longest single battle that the US Army has ever fought in. The next confirmed battle in the game is the Battle of the Bulge, which I hadn't heard of previously. My World War II knowledge is severely lacking. But apparently the Battle of the Bulge was Germany's last massive offensive, and this is the specific battle where the US has had more casualties than in any other battle ever. Also, I think I heard them say something about the liberation of Paris. I think that's what I heard. And that is officially, that was a battle in Paris, funnily enough. And it's the battle that pushed the Germans out of Paris, once and for all. But I might have heard them wrong, so I won't officially list that on the screen. The screen is just for the confirmed things. Now let's move on to multiplayer. They barely revealed anything to do with multiplayer, but they said about 50,000 times they used the phrase boots on the ground combat. We're returning back to the roots, back to boots on the ground combat. They said it about 50,000 times. Basically, classic standard movement. Standard movement, crouching, proning, walking, running. So I'm going to use the words that I used in the last Call of Duty news video. No more boost jumping, jetpack, futuristic bullshit! I am extremely happy about that. I do not like the futuristic direction that recent Call of Duty games have gone in. I'm glad that they're going back to boots on the ground, to use the phrase one more time. Now, something we do know about leveling up and progression, they're introducing something called divisions, i.e. infantry division or armoured division. Now, that's pretty much all we know, but apparently they're going to be separate and you can level up in different ways, so that's not exactly clear at the moment. They did mention that you'd be able to enlist in like one of those divisions at a time, so maybe you can only level up one at a time. I'm not entirely sure about that. Now, the next thing worthy of mention is that on top of all the regular game modes that are coming back, they're introducing a new game mode simply called War. Now, they gave us really sort of little to no information about it. All we know is it includes taking or defending specific places and objectives. From what I understood, from what I sort of deciphered, it sounds like this game mode is going to take place in sort of story-rich, iconic World War II scenes. For example, the D-Day landings on the beaches at Normandy. I mean, that sounds like it might be quite a lot of fun, like a defending team defending the beaches, etc., etc. And if it makes the most of real World War II situations, I'm looking forward to it like never before. Like, seriously, I'm more excited thus far for this game than I have been for like the previous 5 Call of Duties. So I'm really looking forward to this. Now, the next big aspect to multiplayer, which I'm sort of putting in its own section because it's so big, is that they are including a big feature in this game called Headquarters. Once again, they were annoyingly sort of vague with their words when they were describing this, but it sounds like this is a new sort of social hub in the game, a place where you can actually literally walk around, so a physical space with a variety of things to do, but we don't know exactly what you can do yet. I'm guessing it's things like meeting new people, forming parties, possibly sharing, I don't know, sort of replays and emblems, all that sort of social, but basically it's a social space. Maybe there will be some sort of like physical spot to like open supply drops, etc., etc. You have to actually walk to different vendors and places. I mean, this sounds like quite a nice feature to me. The exact words they used in the reveal to describe the headquarters were, it was an interactive social space, and it's an off the front lines experience. Verbatim, that's what they said. So make of those phrases what you will. It sounds to me like you're going to be in these headquarters when you're not in a game. Do you see what I mean? So perhaps it will go as far as, like, maybe creator class and barracks, etc. are now actual places to visit in the headquarters rather than on your menus. And if this is the case, and it might not be, this is pure me speculating. But if it is, that's going to be pretty cool. I like the idea of less menus and more sort of interaction. Anyway, the last sort of telling words they used to describe headquarters were things like rewards, compete, show off. They said the word show off, which is just red flags for me, because I don't like stretching my EP. I think it's just sad and unnecessary. But anyway, it looks like you're going to be able to do a lot in these headquarters, and I do like the sound of this. Even if it's just like a place to change your settings and set up your classes, I like the idea of a physical space to do all this shit. Anyway, let's move on to the co-op mode. Now, when it was first revealed that there was a co-op mode, they specifically said it would have its own story. Now, I thought, like a moron, it was like literally a small version of campaign, but for like 2 people. That would be legendary. Imagine a Call of Duty campaign, but you're with a friend for the entire story. That would be epic. But of course it's not. It is simply zombies again. Nazi zombies. We're back to zombies. Now, it's fun, don't get me wrong, but I wish there was an actual co-op story mode. You see what I mean? They described this co-op Nazi zombies mode as being a separate new story, but it's looking like honestly, it's looking like it's your standard Call of Duty zombies mode. So the story probably isn't all that important. But for those interested in such things, the story is about the Third Reich's sort of desperate attempts in the final stages of the war to win the war. So they turned to sort of crazy science and created zombies. That's literally all the story we know so far. So the co-op mode, quite simply, zombies, as per usual. Anyway, that's it. That's all the information we know. So you now know everything there is to know at the moment about Call of Duty World War II. I don't know about you, but I'm actually, for the first time in several years, I'm actually genuinely excited to find out more, and we will be finding out more at E3. There's going to be a big second reveal at E3. I don't even know why they revealed it too much. They should have just saved it for E3, to be honest. But E3 is going to be June 13th to June 15th, so we're going to have to wait for mid-June for more information. Like this video if you liked it, like this video if you didn't like it, and join me in my next video. My next video, with any luck, will finally be part 1 of my Outlast 2 playthrough. So I will be officially shitting my pants! Join me then.